Hey, guess what?
What?
It's our 50th episode! And not only that, it's also our 5-year YouTube anniversary. So what better way to celebrate than counting down the top 10 video game credit themes? Well, I can think of a few, but those would require effort, and I don't have that. Besides, I've been putting this video off for over a year now, so it's about damn time. But first, let's go over some rules. First off, I will only count the actual music and not the credit sequence itself, although I'll still talk about it if there's anything special I like about it. Secondly, the credit music has to be specifically made for the credits, so I won't include any game that reuses the main theme or any variation of the previous songs in the game. Thirdly, only one song per franchise, just to get some variation. And finally, this is my personal list, so obviously we're not going to have the same opinion. Although, if you have your own choices or thoughts, then feel free to put them in the comments below. Oh yeah, spoiler alert! Maybe. Well, I'm done wasting your time, so let's count down the top 10 video game credit themes. Starting with...
Number 10.
Do a barrel roll. There, now that we have that obligatory joke out of the way, StarFox 64 is awesome. Everyone loves it and praises it as one of the greatest games of all time, and the goddamn second coming of Christ. Except Tom. And for good reasons. You get to blast the shit out of small animals driving tiny planes while walking out to some awesome music. In space! What's not to love about that? And besides the iconic Canaria theme, the most iconic song got to be the credit music. To be more specific, the second half, right after the shameless Star Wars ripoff. The first part is awesome and all, but the second half really raises the bars to new heights. Chances are if you have ever seen a video about StarFox on YouTube, like, I don't know, a review, chances are this was the background music used. And for good reasons. It's memorable, timeless, and an overall great song, credit or not. So putting it on this list was a no-brainer. Get it? Guess the final boss is a giant brain, that's why it's funny. I'll go drink bleach or something. Now before death kicks in, all I have to say is that they better have this in the new StarFox Zero, or else I'm gonna be, well, mildly disappointed. And you wouldn't like me when I'm mildly disappointed, Nintendo. You wouldn't like me at all.
Do a barrel roll!
Fuck off.
Number 9.
I don't have words for this one, just listen. At first, I wasn't sure if I should put Plant vs. Zombies on the list, since there aren't any credits, so to say. Instead, they appear before and after the song itself. But fuck it, it's my list. It appears after you beat the final boss anyways, so I'm gonna count it just because I can. What I love about this song is just how weird it is. A happy song about potential biohazardous creatures threatening the very existence of the human race, sung by happy flowers, redeads, and... zombie dolphins? Zombie dolphins? Excuse me, I need a moment.
I like your tricycle.
You stay the fuck away from my tricycle.
Number 8.
Okay, I have a confession to make to the friendly, caring community on YouTube. I've never played EarthBound. Now, hold your horses, people, I can explain. As you probably can tell by my heavy, annoying accent, affinity for the word wanker, and the funny way I spell color, I live in Europe. And as many of you know, EarthBound was not released in Europe. Ever. Until last year. It's also bloody expensive. But don't worry, I've seen plenty of Let's Plays of the game, and although I could emulate it, I feel that this would do the game injustice to play it any other way than on a console connected to a 20-year-old Soviet-made tube TV. With that said, I can at least agree that its music is awesome, and although I like the kind of credit that scrolls through the character list like in a movie, this is not a song I'm including on the list, seeing as this is just a reuse of a previous song in the game. Instead, I want to fast forward a bit and once again just sit back and enjoy. Am I the only one with goosebumps? No? Good.
But Eric, this is just a reuse of another song in the game called 8 Melodies, just with not—
Shut the fuck up! Now, I'm a big fan of credits that shows clips from your adventure, something that you'll see a lot of on the list from here on out, even though as stated I wouldn't take the visuals to account. The song itself is a perfect blend between happy and sad, and in the end, isn't that the perfect way to end the game? Yes, it is. Next video.
Number 7.
At first I was going to put Super Mario Galaxy on the list, but then I remembered my little rule about no reuses that I'm so good at following, which is basically what Mario Galaxy is all about. So instead, I've decided to dig a bit deeper to find another unique Mario theme to put on the list.
But there's so many to choose from.
There's the memorable Super Mario Bros. 2 theme, and the highly underrated Super Mario Land theme, but in the end I decided to let nostalgia dictate. Again. I could not for the life of me decide which one of these two to put on the list, so I'm going to put them both on a shared spot and let you, the viewer, decide. Because according to Google, viewer interaction is important. In one corner you have the classic 16-bit fanfare that is the Super Mario World credits, celebrating how awesome you are for beating the game. Even though you probably cheated and took the warp start to World 8. Ya wanka. And not only that, you also get a credit roll to all the enemies you've brutally slaughtered, unless you cheated and barely killed anything on your short, sad adventure. Ya wanka. In the other corner you have Mario 64's credits, which also celebrates how awesome you are. And in this game you can't take a shortcut to the final boss, so you can't cheat your way to victory. Ya wanka. There's also the whole recap of the previous places you've been to, just to make you all sad and shit that the game is over. So, which one is your favorite? Make sure to tell in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe while you're down there. Yay!
Number 6.
Oh yes, now we're talking. What's that you say? The horrible grinding of 8-bit chiptunes are making your ears bleed? Then get out! We don't want your kind around here. No, fun fact, not only is Generation 2 my all-time favorite Pokémon generation, but it's also the very first Pokémon game I ever beat. At my first try, only using 2 Pokémon in total. Am I even playing this right? Now if I didn't have such a huge bias, I might as well put the Generation 1 music on here. But this one has motherfucking dancing dittos in here. Automatic win! Now, if I recall right, there was a certain remake of this generation on the DS that we might as well give a listen to. There is no way it's going to be able to compete with the original. Right? Okay, sounds decent enough so far. Maybe a bit too MIDF for my taste, but that's... Wait a second. Is that the original 8-bit chiptune used as a background basis for this remix? But then that means that... Hold on a second.
Number 6.
Oh yes, now we're talking. What's that you say? The smooth performance of this high quality music is making your ear orgasm with joy and nostalgia? Then stay right there. We do want your kind around here. Now, fun fact, even though Generation 2 is my all-time favorite Pokémon generation, I didn't actually own this remake. Why, you say? Because it's the most fucking expensive Pokémon game out on the market, next to Pokémon Bucks, which I do own. Go figure. However, the credit theme to the DS remake is just as good, if not better, than the original Game Boy tune. I guess it's up to personal preference really, but what I like is that it does what all great remakes do. It takes the original and expands upon what is already great. The perfect combination of 8-bit and whatever bit the DS is really comes together to create the perfect harmony of musical extravagance. God damn, I sound fancy for talking about a Pokémon game.
Number 5.
Now this here is a bit of an underrated one, and actually the one to inspire me to make this list, like 2 years ago. Although there are only so many times I can keep repeating, this song is good, this song is great, or this song made me orgasm consecutively for 3 hours, but this song did just that. I love everything about it. The calm, quiet opening building up. The constant background going and of course, this part. I've always believed that the most important thing you need for a catchy song is a strong, clear yet simple main melody, and this theme only goes to prove my point. And of course, a bit of Kirby's theme mixed in never hurt anyone. But wait, there's more? Why yes, there is.
Number 4.
Seems like we're moving out of the cartridge chiptunes and into the world of CD recordings for this one. So after you beat Metal Gear Solid and finally manage to kill off MacGyver, spoilers, you're treated to some life lessons along with this fantastic piece of music. The song is written and completely sung in Gaelic, which is one of the native languages in Ireland, because learning is cool. What this has to do with Alaska, where the game itself takes place, I have no idea, but it works either way. Once again, it's a good mix between victorious and melancholy, which perfectly fits the game's ending itself. On one hand, you're just avoided a global nuclear disaster, but on the other hand, you found out that you're dying. Smart spoilers. Oh Kojima, you know how to pull our heartstrings.
Number 3.
From one foreign language to another. You can say a lot about the channel, mostly negative things, but at least we here at TomAndEric Incorporated are a multicultural bunch. Now, since Okami has one of the best overall endings in my humble opinion, it is only obvious that it's going to have one of the best ending themes as well. The appropriately titled Reset, when translated, is a song about wanting to return to a simpler time in life, a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to. Unless you're like 12 or something, I don't know. The song uses a mix of traditional Japanese and modern instruments, which really blends together nice. As of now, the song is one of my most played iTunes songs with over 268 replays. At first this may not seem like a lot, but keep in mind that I'm very OCD about these kind of counters, prefer to keep them as low as possible. So I always try to reset a song before it's done so it won't count on the counter. This means that out of all the times I've listened to this song, 268 is the amount of times I forgot to reset it. That should put in perspective of how many times I've listened to that song. Now don't forget to check out the English remix of this song made by the YouTuber Step, one of the guys that made the soundtrack for Geometry Dash. He gave me his personal permission to use his music in my videos, so I might as well have this plugging as a thanks. 50 episodes and I'm already selling out. GG Eric. G fucking G.
Number 2.
Now, stop it people, stop it! Who uses torches and pitchforks in this day and age anyway? Damn they're garbage people, that's who! Now you're all probably surprised and or pissed off that Portal isn't number 1, and that's understandable. Objectively, it's probably the best credit song of all time. But again, this is my list. It's as subjective as you can possibly be. But nevertheless, I still had to choose between Still Alive from Portal and Want You Gone from Portal 2. Both are damn good songs, but for now I'll stick with the original. Staying true to the rest of the game, the relatively positive sounding song is littered with hidden insult, double meanings and pure sarcasm. There really isn't much more I need to say. This is easily the most popular of the songs featured in the list, and probably the whole reason why I clicked on here in the first place. So chances are you're probably familiar with it. So yeah, you did good, Gabe. You did damn good. Now, what song could possibly top Portal's Still Alive on this top 10 list? In my opinion. Well...
Number 1.
I had to. I just had to. When thinking of credit songs, this is what I think of. Even if A Link to the Past isn't my favorite Zelda game, it still has my all-time favorite credit theme. That's not counting games that are just a collection of other in-game songs like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. Indeed, there were other games I was considering like Majora's Mask and even the original Zelda, but A Link to the Past just seems to nail that finality that all credits should have. And to be specific, this song is actually divided into 3 parts. There's the confrontation with the Triforce, the flashback to all the characters you've encountered, which you all know I love, and of course, the staff roll. Everything about the sequence is just perfect. From things like the choice of instruments, to small things like the slow sunrise in the background, or the barely visible silhouette of Death Mountain. I'm breaking my own rule about not including the visuals here, because I'm pretty sure the constant padding background is what really makes this music so great. Well, I think I've made my point. Thanks for watching. Pitchforks and torches can be bought at your local hardware store and or farmers market, but until we meet again, take care and goodbye.